What's going on, LEGO Maniacs? It's Ty, the LEGO guy here, and welcome to another LEGO Star Wars review. Today, we're taking a look at General Grievous's Starfighter. That's set 75286. It has 483 pieces, 3 minifigs, came out in 2020, and it retails for $80 US. We're gonna break this one down, look at its positives and its negatives. I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, this is an overpriced set. However, is it a bad set? That's really the question, because maybe you could pick this one up on sale if you do like it. I just wouldn't recommend you guys pay $80 US for it. But anyways, this one should get interesting, but enough talk. Let's get right into it. And to start us off, we'll begin by taking a look at the actual box. So I like the fact that it's an orbit on the front of the box, and then on the back of the box is actually different artwork, which is actually quite nice. In the bottom right, you'll notice they have all the different characters that are included, including the Mustafar ObiWan Kenobi. Then we have Vader in the top right. On the side of the box, literally just shows the fighter again in flight mode, and then on the back you'll actually see Grievous and Obi-Wan about to fight. So I love the fact that the artwork changes. It also shows some of the features. You'll notice the spring-loaded shooter where you can store the lightsabers, which is actually really smart. And then on the side of the box, literally doesn't so much. On the top shows Grievous, and on the bottom you'll just notice it talks about the Skywalker saga, which is going to come out actually apparently soon. I'm hoping it comes out soon. Anyways, that's the box. Let's now take a look at the set itself. And to start us off, let's begin by giving you guys a 360 view of the fighter. Guys, this set actually looks pretty sleek, if I'm being perfectly honest. Just looking at it from, the ship perspective, not taking into account price or anything. Also, check out those engines. That just looks so good. Continuing to rotate it around, it also has some nice detail just on the side of the wings. I do like the fact that they have, just these little, it's not quite greebling. Maybe you could call it greebling, but it adds some nice detail. Okay, now breaking the set down. The first thing you'll notice is these atrocious stud shooters. I'm not a big fan of them. We all know how they kind of work. It also has a spring-loaded shooter on the bottom. What's interesting about it, though, is they really have a feature to kind of make it work. Now back here, you see this Technic, basically gimmick right here. Well, if you press it, it shoots it off very nicely. So I will say, I don't mind the spring-loaded shooter. I'm just not a fan of the stud shooters. I don't think they add that much to the set. The other thing that I wanted to mention was how these, I don't know if you want to call them wings but this part of the ship, if you literally push it back, it has a nice little compartment to store Grievous's lightsabers. So they kind of thought about everything. I like it when these fighters have an area to store their weapons, just so you can kind of keep the entire set together. And on the side, the other side is literally where I just store the other two. You might be able to store 04, but I didn't want it jamming, so I did it like so. Moving on to the cockpit of the ship, notice that it has a very nice window piece. I really like this. This is also included in Krennic's Imperial Shuttle, and I think it's a really nice printed windshield. How you can access Grievous is just like so. It slides right back and it reveals the cockpit. So let's actually just remove Grievous so you get a little bit better view. I love the fact that it has all these control panels in there. Just adds some very nice detail. I love the fact that you also get kind of like some triggers as well, or flying mechanisms, whatever you want to call it. The other thing that's interesting about this, okay, this is one of the negatives. If you put it like so and then you literally like drop it, it will open a little bit. So that is kind of a negative. It doesn't stay nice and snug. The other thing that's interesting about this is if you have it in landed mode, literally the fin can stick out and it won't fall in on itself, unlike previous models. It's just, they figured out the balance of this set really well. And then you can also lower it when you want to stick it into flight mode. Believe it or not, when it's in flight mode, that little wing is supposed to come down. Anyways, that pretty well does the set. What we're gonna do now is take a look at the minifigs. And here we have the first two figs that are included in the set. So on the right, we have the Airborne Trooper, and on the left, we have the Mustafar Obi-Wan. This is actually not a bad looking Obi-Wan. It just, he shouldn't have the burn marks. He hasn't been to Mustafar yet. Moving them around, you'll notice the clone has kind of like that garment the clones like to wear around their hips. And on the back, again, Obi-Wan has more burn marks. If you remove his hairpiece, it removes a scared, or I should say worried, face. And then moving them around again, on the front of Obi-Wan's face, he's kind of more, kind of ticked off, not too happy. And then removing the clone's helmet, this actually has one of the newer clone faces, which I like a lot more than the angry clone face. The clone also has nice leg printing, nice torso printing. All in all, a very nice looking clone. It just really should have been Commander Cody. Let's now take a look at Grievous. And this fig may be why many of you want to purchase this set or have. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I love the way this Grievous looks. I think he looks incredible. I love the fact that he has printing on his arms. They didn't just make it standard gray. I love the fact that he's pretty well completely custom. These are all custom pieces that they use to make him, and I think that the overall look of him is just excellent. You can also rotate his head up and down. He has that nice looking kind of like reptilian eye printing. That is awesome. I mean, this is such an improvement over the older 2005 version, which I own as well. And you can actually rotate his arms, which is actually quite nice, into whatever form you're kind of looking to have him. The other thing I want to mention too is just how much bigger this Grievous is, fully extended, because he's always kind of crouching, right? But if he's fully standing, you can see that he's quite a bit taller than a normal minifig. In fact, that's just raise his head completely. He's much taller than a normal minifig. So I love the fact that that kind of translates. I know minifigs aren't 100% accurate, but I do like it when the sizes are kind of correct. That way it looks a little bit better in a mock, and I would definitely put this Grievous in a mock. This would be the one that I would choose. Now what we're going to do is take a look at the movie pics just to see how accurate Grievous's fighter really is. And now we've made our way to the picture segment of the video. I believe this picture is taken from an encyclopedia, and what's interesting is it's called the Bell Balab 22 Starfighter. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. We just all call it General Grievous's Starfighter. And I have to say, I feel that the LEGO version really does this ship justice. Yes, it is overpriced. Yes, the minifigs are incorrect, and it should have included a Phase 2 Cody. But if we're just looking at the ship itself, this is excellent. I don't like the stud shooters on the top. You can easily take those off though. But if we're just looking at the overall look, the angles, even the correct sizing to this ship, I feel that LEGO really did it justice. Definitely looks very accurate. Like, you can even tell with the overall oval look of it. Like, it's not a complete, cut and dry type of ship. It's not sharp angles. It's a little bit more ovaled, if you guys know what I'm talking about looking at the picture. And I feel that LEGO really captured that, which is really difficult to do with a LEGO set. Anyways, those are the pictures. Let's now get into the end of the review and get my final thoughts. Well guys, that was my review. Do hope you enjoyed it. Honestly, this set, I do believe, looking at the pics, looking at the set itself, comparing it against even maybe earlier models, because I do own at least one of them, this is probably the best General Grievous Starfighter they've ever made. Like, it actually really does look pretty good. The figs, yes, the Obi-Wan is atrocious. It shouldn't be the Mustafar Obi-Wan. The Grievous himself, he's actually a pretty good fig. This is my first modern Grievous that I've actually like built up and, you know, looked at in person. And, you know, the clone, he's good. It should be a Captain Cody or Commander Cody. But all in all, I actually think that this set's pretty good. I do think that you guys should go out and get it. I only paid half what it's worth. So if you're only paying 45 US, I'd say, or 40 US, go buy it. But definitely don't pay full retail for it. It actually, barring the minifig issue, it's actually a good set. Like the fighter itself and Grievous are fantastic. It's just, again, overpriced. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this one. If you like it, if you don't, any areas you think they could maybe improve on it. I'm probably gonna see a whole bunch of like, you know, the figures being wrong in the comments, but I agree with you guys and it is overpriced. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. But if you like this video, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and click that bell so you're notified for any future LEGO Star Wars reviews. We basically do one of these, well, we do a Star Wars review every Tuesday, and yeah, I really enjoy doing them. But yeah, that's all I got for you again, but thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.